خلق ونور عرش أفضل الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيبنا وسيدنا وسندنا وشفيعنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجه.
الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين. I begin in Allah's name, the beneficent, the merciful, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Holy Quran, in Surah Al-Mulk, وَالَّذِي جَعَلَ لَكُمُ الْأَرْضَ ظَلُولًا فَامْشُوا فِي مَنَاكِبِهَا وَكُلُوا مِنْ رِزْقِهِ وَإِلَيْهِ النُّشُورُ. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات على محمد وعلى محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجه.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is worthy of praise for giving us His life and giving us the opportunity to represent Him. And in the 25 minutes that I have to present, I'd like to stress the importance of Allah's mercy and gifts and how we pay back this gift. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us. He has made the universe subservient to us. He has said in the Quran, أَلَمْ تَرَوْا أَنَّ اللَّهَ سَخَّرَ لَكُمْ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَأَسْبَغَ عَلَيْكُمْ نِعَمَهُ ظَاهِرَةً وَبَاطِنًا. Do you not see that Allah has made أَلَمْ تَرَوْا أَنَّ اللَّهَ سَخَّرَ لَكُمْ. The universe is subservient to you. سَخَّرَ لَكُمْ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ. Whatever is in the sky and the earth, Allah has made it subservient to you. وَأَسْبَغَ عَلَيْكُمْ نِعَمَهُ. He has made these as gifts. نِعَمَهُ, plural. نِعَمَهُ ظَاهِرَةً وَبَاطِنًا, that whether you can see it or not. And it is very important for us that as human beings that are intelligent, that we are cognizant of this enormous gift. In Surah Ibrahim, Allah says, وَإِذْ تَأَذَّنَ رَبُّكُمْ لَإِنْ شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِدَنَّكُمْ وَلَإِنْ كَفَرْتُمْ إِنَّ عَذَابِ لَشَدِيدٌ. Allah has made it known that if you are grateful, He will give you more, and if you are ungrateful, He will punish you. That's the rule of God. We gathering in this conference, inshallah, it's a blessing, it's an honor, and we have an intent to socialize, to meet, to come up with new ideas, and of course, to make good use of our time during the holidays, which is more important for us to indulge in a positive lifestyle than to be merrymaking and partying that may take us away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what better than to get to such gatherings? But pragmatically speaking, besides the fact that we're making good use of our time in the social arena and coming to these wonderful conferences with which to meet and to learn and to listen to, wonderful presentations by scholars of various kinds, you and I have to have the desire to leave this facility, these kinds of facilities, in a proactive way, to say, oh Allah, what can I learn from these gatherings so that I continue to perpetuate the goodness that you have created me for? And the core principle here is that you and I must consider ourselves liable for doing good for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's a fundamental principle in the Quran which to me resonates the most powerful message. Allah says, كُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ أُخْرِجَتْ لِلنَّاسِ تَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَتَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ وَتُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ. You are the best in the community, you promote good, you forbid evil, and you believe in Allah. So when we leave these facilities, we have to ask the question, what can I do to promote good and forbid evil? And how can I enhance my belief in Allah? And the Quran is replete with examples. Filled with examples with which to follow so that you and I can get closer to Allah. It's not a secret. Many times people ask, how do I get closer to Allah? It's not a secret. The Quran is filled with examples of prophets who struggled constantly to show the evidence of why they were created, and they came as our role models to teach us how to proactively present a positive lifestyle, even at the cost of losing their lives. We commemorate the Shahada of Imam Hussein ﷺ for the same reason, that he went to promote goodness. When the Prophet said, Hussein minni, وَأَنَا مِنَ الْحُسَيْنِ. The interesting part of this hadith is the second part. The first is obvious, Hussein minni, Hussein is from me. But the second part is what really resonates, and I am from Hussein. وَأَنَا مِنَ الْحُسَيْنِ. What does that mean? It means that Imam Hussein alayhi salam promoted so much good that he kept the message of the Prophet alive forever. That constant struggle with which to give your children, yourself, to maintain the positive trajectory of Allah's message is what Allah in the Quran is constantly invoking for us to reflect and to do. Constantly asking us to do that. So within this time, I want us to think before we leave these places. And please, we must demand it. Let us not be reactionary Muslims. In my opinion, I do not see Ahlul Bayt as reactionary leaders. I do not see Imam Ali alayhi salam as a reactionary leader. I see him 24/7 pro-actionary, constantly working to improve the environment, constantly working to prepare infrastructures to protect the hereafter. Constant. There was never a moment where they were waiting for a problem so that they could solve it. They were always working to prevent problems. And should problems come, they would attack it to destroy it. We as Muslims, unfortunately, most of us, are reactionary believers. We are in paralysis, what I call silent majority. If you ever study the dynamics of social science, you'll see that the majority is always silent. It's the minority that is vocal. Now, all societies are ruled as such. It's the minority that's vocal, and it's the minority that's vocal, and it's the majority that's silent. And the majority is waiting to be dictated. Unfortunately, most of the vocal minorities are usually on the wrong side, unfortunately. And they dictate the outcome of legislation, unfortunately. And we become its victims. And then when we start to find that legislation hurting us, then we start to cry. Whereas the vocal minority has already placed in position something that is beneficial to them, and you and I are paying the price for it, because we are tacitly silent. Whereas in Islam, I have never seen in my life, or that which I learned, ever in that moment where I need to be silent. What good is it to be silent and to be reactionary when every story in the Quran is pro-actionary? Look what Allah says to Yahya ibn Zakaria. He said, Ya Yahya, khudh al-kitaba biquwwa. Oh Yahya, take by the law and move. Don't wait. There's a beautiful story that I'm going to place. I want us to embed it, ensconce it in our hearts, honestly, and live by that. Just this one image that drives me every time I start getting lazy. I see this image. It just absolutely moves me. And images are worth thousands of words. Imam Ali alayhi salatu wassalam,
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wajjal faraj.
Imam Ali alayhi salam, the first battle that he fought after he became the recognized Khalifa, after the third Khalifa, you find that he confronted Aisha. As you know, Aisha fought him in Basra. And she commanded an army, and the meaning of that word, وَإِن طَائِفَتَانِ مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ اقْتَتَلُوا فَأَصْلِحُوا بَيْنَهُمَا. The meaning of this verse in Surah Al-Hujurat came to full fruition in the Battle of Jamal, which was in Basra. And when Imam Ali alayhi salam was fighting, he was very resistant. He didn't want to counter-attack Aisha's army because they were at the end of the day proclaiming to be Muslim. He wanted to bring peace. But the enemy started to shower them Imam Ali's army, with enormous amount of arrows. Enormous amount of arrows. So Muhammad ibn Hanafiya was the son of Imam Ali alayhi salam, as you know. And he was standing next to Imam Ali alayhi salam, and Imam gave him the banner. Gave him the banner, the flag, and says, Muhammad, take this flag and go to the front lines. Go to the front lines. As you know, Aisha was on a camel leading this battle, which is unbelievable in history. It's amazing how we can turn a blind eye to something that is profoundly problematic. I mean, you're talking about battle, war, the wife of the Prophet on a battlefield, on a camel, whereas Quran says, وَقَرْنَا فِي بُيُوتِكُنَّ, and remain in your houses. But people just tend to just turn a blind eye, you know. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. I'd like to say that on Judgment Day to Allah, it's okay. But anyway, Imam Ali says to Muhammad ibn Hanafiya, says, take this banner and go to the front lines. Muhammad ibn Hanafiya looks at Imam Ali and says, my father, the sky is black with arrows. Meaning, we are being showered with arrows. He hesitated for a split moment. Muhammad ibn Hanafiya says, I felt a breeze pass me by, and I looked and my hand was empty, and I saw my father in the front with the banner. That image should be ensconced in our hearts. Imam Ali commanded his son to go. He doubted for a second. Imam didn't wait to convince him. He grabbed it and ran, and he said, I saw my father on the front line, the Khalifa, the Imam of the time, on the front lines. What better role model in Islam can you and I ask for than such examples? And yet we're in paralysis mode, making excuses about our problems for our children, that our children are indulging in drugs today, and there's so much sexual indecency within our community, the dating game, and there's so much apathy in religion that our children are not necessarily praying or fasting. We're in paralysis. We're saying, Ya Mahdi, adrikni, as-sa'a, as-sa'a. Imam is replying, what are you doing? Saying, adrikni? Have you risen and taken the banner to go forward and establish something? Or are you going to wait for me to come? So we wait for you to come. Can you imagine if our prophets and imams function at this level? We would have no religion today. We'd be sitting ducks, dead. Whereas prophets and imams were movers and shakers, and they put their lives on the line. So what are we doing? Honestly, besides attending lectures, you and I should hold ourselves liable to say, Allah, you made me responsible on this earth when you created me. When Allah said, قَالَ رَبُّكَ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً. We think, yeah, Khalifa here is Adam and all the prophets and Rasulullah and the Imams. No, we are also khulafa. On a second and a tertiary level, we are khulafa also. But we don't think that way. We find our genius that we have is for our own empires and for our own businesses, which is good, by the way. There's nothing wrong with that. Inshallah, we should succeed within our own sphere to be very successful businessmen and very successful entrepreneurs so that we make billions of dollars. And inshallah, as Sayyid Sulaiman mentioned, that khums, which is due to Allah, will come and finance the rest of the project. But do you think it's about money? You know, often when I do projects, the first thing that is in the people's mind, brother, where's the money? I said, let me tell you, there are trillions of dollars available. Not billions, trillions. I said, where are the hearts? Where are the minds? Where are the souls? Where are the bodies? You know one thing I admire about Mother Teresa? She was a Catholic nun, but she was proactive. A man that I know said to me, he says, I offered her $1 million. I gave her $1 million check. You know what she said to me? She took the check and gave it back to me. She says, I don't need your money. Bring me people to help out with the poverty in India. I don't need your $1 million. You bring me bodies. Bring me people who will help me. I said, bravo for a woman who thinks that way. That she wasn't concerned about the money, she was concerned about the action on the ground. So are we thinking action? Do we think about saving the next generation? The introduction to this presentation was about being green, eco-sensitive. Yes, spiritually eco-sensitive too. Sure, we need to recycle. As I mentioned, the verse, وَالَّذِي جَعَلَ لَكُمُ الْأَرْضَ ذَلُولًا فَامْشُوا فِي مَنَاكِبِهَا وَكُلُوا مِنْ رِزْقِهِ وَإِلَيْهِ النُّشُورُ. Right? He has made the earth subservient to you. وَالَّذِي جَعَلَ لَكُمُ الْأَرْضَ ذَلُولًا. He made it subservient. Walk on it, Allah says. Use it. And eat from it. وَكُلُوا مِنْ رِزْقِهِ. Take from it. Allah says, I made it for you, take it. I made trees with fruits to come down so you can pluck them. Allah says, take them, use it. Alam taraw anna Allah. Do you not see that God has made the universe subservient to you? Subservient, whether you can see it or not. Allah says, see, He has given us fa'idah. He has given us much. But Allah says, قَلِيلًا مَا تَشْكُرُونَ. Little you are grateful. I believe true gratefulness is to indulge in a positive way, to say, oh Allah, you gave me a mind. I'm an engineer. You gave me a mind. I'm strong. You gave me a heart, strong heart. I want to do something for you. When you and I take a step towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He will open gates for us. And He will say, come. وَاذْكُرُونِي أَذْكُرْكُمْ. Remember me, I will remember you. But I'm saying this not to patronize any of you. I'm being very honest. And the Muslim community is a beautiful community. But we're not moving at the speed we need to move at with regards to our progression in societies, particularly in saving our next generations. For example, how many infrastructures do we have in America to protect the education of our youth in America as Muslims? Many times we say we don't need it. I'm living in a very nice neighborhood. I pay $20,000, $30,000 a year in taxes. I've got the finest school in America. My child goes to the best school. I don't need it. Really? Did you go to that school and see the kind of immorality that takes place in the school? Because the schools across America, their moral standards have degraded dramatically in the last few decades. Dramatically. I know, because I used to run a school district for 3 years. Firsthand, one of the finest schools in America, in Rybrook, I used to run their entire technology of the entire school. The entire school. And you should see boys, girls sitting on the laps of boys, you know, kissing each other, doing all kinds of things, saying, what's this? They said, oh, you can't say a word, their fathers will sue us. They can do what they want. But it's the finest school. They go to the best schools. But where's the moral grade? If we think that we have achieved much by getting a PhD, but we lost Iman and became atheists and agnostics, in my opinion, that's a loss. That's regression, not progression. Progression is when our Iman increases. إنما المؤمنون الذين إذا ذكر الله وجلت قلوبهم وإذا تليت عليهم آياته زادتهم إيمانا وعلى ربهم يتوكلون. Who are the believers? When signs وإذا إنما المؤمنون الذين إذا ذكر الله, when they remember Allah, their hearts palpitate. There's a preparation that takes place. Parents who have instilled love of Allah, love of prophets, love of Ahlul Bayt in their souls, and has made them ready and active. Those who helped Imam Ali alayhi salam, for example, those who helped Imam Hussein on the battles of Karbala, their hearts were ready. Allah said, فَذَكِّرْ إِنَّ فَعَتَ الذِّكْرَ سَيَذَّكَّرُ مَنْ يَخْشَى. Remind them. Reminding is beneficial. The one who will listen to you is the one who is conscious of Allah. Yakhsha, khushu, one who is humble on earth, one who is ready to sacrifice. And I'm not saying we're not, but I don't think we're very prepared. Structurally, if you look around America, even in the most densely populated Muslim communities, we don't even have high schools yet, and high schools are just beginning to pop up.